Eris Morn guided the Guardian in the Taken King to complete the Queen's ultimate goal, kill the Taken King so Mara could take his spot and grow immense with power. Now, we did take down Oryx. Eris's part of the plan was complete. However, Mara had some issues with Oryx's Ascendant Realm and things kinda went south. But today we're going to dive into some mysteries surrounding Eris Morn, what her rock she carries around actually is, and where she's gone in the meantime. My name's Evade and let's get right into it.
I am Eris, the last. I have seen what the Hive call a god.
Eris Morn made her way back to the tower in Destiny 1's first expansion, The Dark Below. This Crota's Bane was a mystery and many Guardians were frightened at first glance due to her dark origin and, well, she kinda had 3 eyes, but yeah. Eris Morn is the sole survivor of an ill-fated raid on the Hive's lunar fortress. It was Eris and a ragtag fire team who at first charged to take back the moon, sacrificed everything to return in search of the one the Hive call Crota. Robbed of her ghost, Eris remained lost among the darkest shadows of the hellmouth for countless cycles. Despite all odds she endured, using the very dark she battled to emerge a changed warrior, driven, some would even say obsessed. The Speaker and Commander Zavala find her compulsions a sickness, convinced she has been fully deduced by the shadows. Though her warnings of Crota and his power are often dismissed as madness, Eris returns to the shadows time and time again, operating as one of Ikora Ray's Hidden. This of course was a group of Guardians tasked with silently infiltrating enemy strongholds and gathering vital intel for the Warlocks. Now that was a little summary of the backstory of Eris Morn and how everything kind of started. I'm sure most of you know that already, but for those of you who are new and maybe just started playing Destiny with Forsaken, there's a little bit of info on that character for you. Now within Forsaken's story, we do know a couple of things involving Eris. Although she doesn't appear, she actually has a pretty big impact on the plot of both the Taken King and Forsaken. First off, as we discussed towards the beginning, she was a part of Marasov's plan, kill the Taken King, take his position, and her goal was basically to get the Guardians to do this for them. Now, right before the Red Legion attacked the tower in one of the Age of Triumph Grimoire cards from Destiny 1, we see that Eris Morn is sitting in this medical bay of the tower next to an Awoken who lost his arm on a bed. Now this character eventually turned out to be Asher Mir. He's asleep and Eris is talking to him on the bed, and she says this: "I must find a new path through the night. The Hive are vast and ancient, a power from far beyond our realm. If we are ever to truly face them, ever truly to put an end to their hate, I must step beyond the safety of the city." She then said, "Be safe, Jensam Scribe, a storm is coming, and I will not be at your side when it finds a way to our shores." So the storm there she's talking about is the Red Legion invasion, and Eris Morn basically says she's leaving to study more on the Hive and how to stop them for good. Now that's basically where Eris Morn went before the invasion of the Red Legion in Destiny 2. There are some leaked lore books that discuss Eris and what she's been up to since then, but I'm not going to discuss all of that just yet, but we do have something pretty cool to talk about next, so let's get right into that. So the Cloak of the Great Hunt from the Last Wish raid gives us more insight into the Hellmouth situation and what Eris used to escape. The Great Disaster, years after the hunt. They are dead: Wei Ning, Ariana 3, Tolan, Saimoda, Omar, Valtarlo. Guardians live lives of loss. Everything around us inevitably turns to dust. When we come together, it's to war against enemies of humanity, against each other. One of our few comforts is the knowledge that our peers will be there tomorrow, for good or ill. My fire team has been robbed of that. I am lost in these lunar tunnels, out of ammo, short on light. I am out of moves, save one. I clutch an Ahamkara bone in one hand and my dead ghost in the other. I hear a whisper. My vision is gone, my face itches from the viscous flow from my eyes. Though I can't see, I find that I suddenly know the way out. So that is pretty crazy. It explains that Eris used this said Ahamkara bone to guide her way out of the Hellmouth. Some may ask, what would an Ahamkara bone be so useful for? The creature is dead, and how can it just grant a wish through a bone? So ever since Destiny 1, warlocks and hunters specifically were able to wield the bones of these wish dragons and use them as armor and weapons. Now from the lore tabs derived from these pieces, we learn that the Ahamkara can still communicate to the bearer through the bones even when they are dead. So here's an example from Warmind's Claws of Ahamkara. The mind is malleable, filled with transient and fleeting ideas. Let us shape it so that you may see the infinite splendor of the universe. It's suffocating here, this prison. Do us a favor, O bearer ours. Still your mind, invite us to enter the realm of your capricious thoughts. Your mind is vociferous, addled with worry and doubt. We can extinguish these trifles. Would you like that? Yes, we are here. We are not the photons on your screen or the voice inside your head or the words you read. Shut your eyes tightly and you may see us, at least part of us. Make us real and in turn we shall reify your thoughts, your dreams. So this was a big reason the Vanguard wanted the Ahamkara hunted to extinction. This effect that came from some of these bones were starting to control Guardians and even drive some of them to madness. Eris explains some of that in this next card. The Ahamkara remain an issue. There's still so much we can learn from them, but what they've done to Venus, no two Guardians see the same thing. Consultants from the War Cult have been brought in to gauge disagreements over timelines of events. One of our warlocks stared into a paracausal phenomenon that formed over the Ishtar Academy and shot himself. Luckily though, his ghost hid from him beforehand. We managed to get him back. He has no lingering physical wounds, but he will need time to recover. We thought we were gods who had found an opportunity for more power. A silly notion to the likes of you and me, but the average Guardian has not been threatened like this. The Titans are beside themselves. We will take extreme measures, we must, but these creatures have such means, they will flee far and wide, perhaps all the way to you. Mara, I implore you, if you hold your people as dearly as you say you do, you will end them on sight. And that's obviously from Eris Morn. So the Great Ahamkara Hunt ended all the Ahamkara besides one, which Aldrin gifted to the Queen upon arriving in the solar system. He named it Riven, and it found a home in the Dreaming City alongside the Awoken Queen and her people. Now, we eventually know how the situation turned out within Forsaken, but Eris's rock is still out there. Even though we know that most, if not all of these Ahamkara are extinct now, they still live through these bones and can provide some of these weird effects. So within this video, just kind of want to bring that to your knowledge, and then let you know that Eris has actually used some of these powers to her capability when she escaped the hellmouth. So the last thing I have to discuss for this video is pretty interesting, and I'm just going to kind of leave it out there and get your opinion on this. So this information comes from the new shape within Forsaken called Unfinal Shapes, so I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. First, the flavor text is this: mine is not a final shape, she showed me that, Eris Morn. Asher, I took a slough of hive chitin and with my own hands I bent it into the shape of a starship. I think you of all people might understand why. But it's more than just a reminder of the green flames behind my brow. Asher, I saw a throne world built for the light, built with darkness of course, and the bitter logic of swords, built for the light. It made me wonder. This will be my last letter for a long while. The Queen needs me more than the city does, and I need her. When she looks at me, she does not see an invalid or a madwoman or a burden. She sees a hunter. She has pointed me at the true enemy, and with her help, I will see my quarry caught. Clarity in action. Eris Morn. So this card is pretty interesting for a couple of reasons. First, the obvious. She explains she made this, unfinal shaped ship with chitin she found with her own hands, and she bent it into the shape of a starship. Now the weird thing here is the flavor text first. It says mine is not a final shape, she showed me that, which is interesting for a couple of reasons. Now in this card she also talks about the Queen needs me more than the city does. Now you could take this a couple of ways. Eris Morn has been known to work with the Queen of the Awoken, Mara Saw, for a long time now, and she could just be like, hey, the Queen needs me, Savathun's probably coming in the future and I'm gonna need to help her out. But on the other hand, people have been taking this kind of differently. With the first line there says, "Mind is not a final shape," it kind of ties to the Hive Sword logic, which means many people have been believing that this queen is actually Savathun herself. So whoever this queen is, she sees Eris differently. She does not see a mad woman or a burden like most people in the city do, she sees a hunter. This queen has pointed Eris at a true enemy, and with her help, she will see her quarry caught. So Guardians, that's, something to discuss in another video entirely, but I wanted to throw it out there and get your opinions and kind of get a little conversation going in the comments below. Anyway, Guardians, that's all I got for today's video. If you enjoyed, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for some more awesome Destiny 2 news and entertainment. Also, let me know down below what mysteries you'd like to see in the future, and I thank you very much for watching. My name's Evade, and I'll catch you Guardians in the next one.